Welcome back to TBRD. This week on the vlog, going to be taking a look at battery maintenance and a really great product for help keeping our batteries tip-top during the winter or the slower riding season. There's going to be some specific tips in here for the 2020 BMW S1000XR, but really all motorcycles and motorcyclists will be able to benefit from this information. We're going to also unbox this youthful product here, this Battery Tender Junior. We're going to take a look at what's inside that and how to hook this up to your motorcycle and take advantage of this really cheap and wonderful accessory. I got my Battery Tender Junior from Amazon, $24.99. It's going to help you keep your battery tip top. Let's take a look at what's inside that package. All right, so you're going to find three things inside the Battery Tender Junior box. So this is your box, and when you unpackage it, you're going to slide this guy out, and you're going to see two of the three things right here. You've got your alligator clips and your ring connectors, and you're going to use this guy to connect it to your battery. And once you do that, the third piece, which I actually already have hooked up over here, is the actual Battery Tender Junior itself. Okay, it comes with a 12-foot cord, and my sole outlet in my garage is a little further away than 12 feet, so I just have it plugged into an extension cord. So when you're doing battery maintenance on any motorcycle, the first thing is to locate your battery. On your 2020 BMW S1000XR, which is what I have, you're gonna find the battery below your seat, which is a pretty prime location for a lot of batteries and a lot of models. You will find batteries elsewhere. On the Ducati Multistrada, it's in the upper right fairing. I think that's also where it's at in the Yamaha FJR, the 1300. And really you can find batteries anywhere, but I think that one of the easiest places to access them that I prefer when the manufacturers put them there is right below the seat. So on your BMW S1000XRs, you've got the keyhole right there. And you're gonna insert your key and turn it. And I will tell you, when you do that, sometimes it gets a little hung up. So what you wanna do when you insert that key and turn it is push down on your seat while you turn it. I've already popped mine. You're gonna go ahead, remove your seat, preferably not one-handed like I'm doing here. All right. Once you remove that seat, you're gonna see where your battery is, okay? And you've got this harness on here, or kind of a bracket to keep the battery in place. So you've got two little bolts there, Torx, and you can take those off to access this battery, all right? And then what you're gonna see, if I zoom in on there, is you can see that for my battery tender, I've got my ring harness right here, and I've got the red or the positive connected to the positive side, the black or the negative connected to the negative side. And then I've run that down through, and it just comes right out into this cable right here, okay? And this cable is what the battery tender is gonna actually connect to. So boom, you just plug it in there, and it is connected. Let's take a look at the battery tender so you get an idea for what it's doing. So it's gonna tell you, you'll see on mine, it's got a green light, okay? And if you look on the side, it's gonna give you an indicator light operation, and it'll tell you if you've got a red flashing light, it's not charging the battery. If you got a solid red light, that means the battery's charging. If you got a flashing green light, that means the battery is greater than 80% charged, and a solid green means that it is now just monitoring, like mine, a charged battery, keeping everything charged up. That's great. That's exactly what you want to see. So a couple of tips that I have for you if you are working on your battery. So first things first, you want to make sure anytime you're working on the battery that you disconnect the negative terminal first. Now, if you don't disconnect the negative terminal first, nothing necessarily catastrophic is going to happen. But what you're trying to do is avoid grounding out your battery. And the reason for that is most bikes the frame itself is going to act as a ground. So if you're working on the positive side of the battery and you haven't disconnected the negative and you touch that frame, you can ground it out, assuming you've bridged the gap there, because you're going to have the battery hooked up. And if you're touching the positive and then you touch the frame and they've grounded things out on the frame, you could short it. And if you do that, worst case scenario, maybe you blow a fuse. But, you know, there is the potential there to start a fire, believe it or not, or more likely cause significant financial devastation to your ride by messing up the electrical system. So you always want to make sure when you're working on your battery, you go ahead, disconnect that negative terminal first. The other thing I would suggest is, if you're a married man, take off any of your wedding bands of metallic, just in case. Not necessary, but just another good practice. Then, when you're reinstalling your battery, you want to reverse that process, okay? You want to then at that point make sure that you connect your positive side first and then connect the negative side. And in doing so, you're going to avoid the possibility of grounding out your battery, causing an electrical short, which could cost, or which could in turn cost you a lot of money in repairs. But that's pretty much it. It's a very simple process. The battery tender, as I said, is a very cheap accessory that's going to keep your battery in tip-top form. Super easy. You come home, you're done riding, you plug your bike in, you keep your battery maintained, and that is it. And when your battery is maintained, that means it's gonna crank every time that you get out to go ride that machine, so that you can get out on the road, and as I like to say, keep the throttle back, the rubber down, and enjoy the ride.